Hi, everyone. From me, Brent Graham. It's Thursday, 12 o'clock, midday, South African time. It's time for the handicap rugby chat that matters. And now today we're going to be previewing the Rugby World Cup Round 1 preview. And very pleased to welcome a new sponsors, Betxchange. You can log on to Betxchange for, I can tell you, some of the best prices around. And we'll have a look at that just a little bit later. Let me first, though, introduce you to the panel. And I've got a couple of guys, one spread around South Africa and the other one spread around the world. And let me start in the top there with Cornflakes, Steve. Steve, loving these time frames because, of course, I can have you on the show. I know you've been doing a lot of work on YouTube. And you were saying just before the show, the hype isn't really there in New Zealand yet, but I don't think that applies to you. You look pretty hyped.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I'm a bit like you, actually. I've been trying to squish as many ideas that come into my small little brain over the last few weeks into the channel and into content as I can for the Rugby World Cup. So it's been pretty full on. I mean, any rugby fans hyped. And New Zealand's pretty blessed for sport at the moment. So the Rugby World Cup's it's sitting there. People will take notice, I think, after tomorrow. For us, at least, it's the same day for you guys. But once we get underway, kick things off, then I think the eyes will start to take attention.
Well, I can tell you no one loves the World Cup like the Irish. I mean, I've had some interesting debates with Irish people about whether or not they should actually be 6 to 10 favourites for the World Cup. But the first two guys in the live chat were both Irish. So welcome to Shade and to Mark. I've actually got so many coming through now. I'm not going to be able to hook them all up. But I can mention one New Zealand viewer, a Reverend, coming in there. You no need to watch us while you're having breakfast anymore there, mate. So we've got a New Zealand viewer coming in there. And just to mention, and I'll get into it after I've spoken to Henrik, we are running a competition on the live show for a 500 Rand Betxchange voucher. And all you've got to do in the live chat is use hashtag RWC, and then you're entered into the draw. We'll do the draw at the end. You just have to do that at some point. But let's go down to the bottom. Here's a man I know is incredibly excited. He's heading over to France in the not-too-distant future. We've already done a World Cup outright preview with him. And he's absolutely, as someone described you the other day, Henrik, he's glowing. You're glowing, mate. You are so excited for this World Cup. Great to have you back on the show. A big weekend of rugby ahead.
Yeah, Brent, I'm really excited. Can't wait. I love the World Cup just for the punting and just for the viewing. It's the best teams in the world. Everybody's at their best. Last night in the house, I played the World Union about 10 times, full blast, to get the children and the wife excited. The wife's gone to work with her Bob jersey. My children both to school with their Bob jerseys. So we're very excited about the World Cup.
Absolutely pumped. Well, I'm going to just whack up. I've got a couple of change the way I'm doing things slightly. I'll have to just drop that comment off, otherwise you won't be able to see what's on there. Sorry, my load shedding's just kicked in, so my Wi-Fi might be a little bit slow. But if you enjoy this preview powered by Betxchange, hit the subscribe button, and what it says down below there is hit the like button as well. So just in terms of the voucher, you just have to use hashtag RWC. I've already seen a few people do it. I'll bring up Aleta, who's watching on Facebook. So that, I believe, is on the Betxchange's Facebook page. Hang in there, Aleta. We'll do the draw at the end of the show. So just mention hashtag RWC. Plenty of them coming in. We will announce the winner at the end. Then you email me, Brent, at Good for the Game. And there is a link to the T's and C's in the description box below. But a great prize there from Betxchange, a 500 Rand voucher. Right, gents, let's move on, though, and start talking a little bit of betting. And, Henrik, I'm going to start with you here. We have done an outright preview already. Betxchange, I was having a look now at the outright prices. So the way their decimal works here is you don't have to take the 1 off. So that 3.2 is not a 2.2. It's actually 32 to 10 if you had to look at it in fractions. I'm going to still figure out maybe how to show it in fractions on the side. So France at 7 to 2. South Africa, I don't know the fraction, 3.75 to 1. If the Oracle was here, you could certainly tell me. We've got Ireland at 11 to 2. And then we get out to the big numbers. Australia, 15 to 1. England, 17 to 1. Now, Henrik, you've already shared some of your outright thoughts, so we won't spend too much time on that because we've got 8 games to cover. But anything stand out for you there that is starting to look good value?
Yeah, Brent, is still good value on France at home, 7 to 2. And yeah, just under 4 to 1 for the box. I still believe that's a good price as well. So those are only 2 I'm interested in. I've only punted South Africa to win. It's not because I'm a box supporter. When it comes to betting, I'm very objective. I don't just punt with like I told you yesterday when we had the chat, I've probably in my life had way more bets against South Africa than on South Africa. So yeah, I think the box, they are at the top of their game at the moment. Very experienced. Probably they are the most experienced squad. So yeah, just under 4 to 1. It's just a tough pool. That's why the price is so big. But yeah, I like the box. And then at 7 to 2, France at home, you've got to have respect for that.
Right, just to mention to Shane, I think it was saying that the 3.5 is 94. With Betxchange, you don't take the one off, so that's actually 3.5 to 1, Shane. So 7 to 2 there on the second favourite, France. Right, Steve, look, New Zealand playing tonight against France. Big game, probably not going to interfere with whoever goes through at the end of the day, but certainly who meets who in the quarterfinals. What's the optimism and any bets down for you on the outrights at this point?
Geez, I don't like this game from a betting perspective at all. I've looked at this one long and hard, and it's just there's so many matchups throughout this World Cup, especially through group stages, and the repercussions of winning or losing this game is kind of like choosing between two different poisons, isn't it? In the end, when you get to those quarterfinals, whether you're going to see the Springboks or you're going to see the Irish, and really, at the end of the day, I don't know which one I would want to go with. And it depends how that pool goes as well. But, yeah, it's too close to call. It's too tight. And you just don't know. Personally, I can't really pick a winner between these two. So I found it quite difficult to really sit down on this one and pick something out of real substance. But what I did like when I was looking through what we have here in New Zealand is our France to actually jump out and grab the first sort of try. Now, this would, I think, be good for the game in terms of really boost that atmosphere, boost the stadium, boost the country, off to a good start, fly the World Cup nice and high, nice and early, and get the French off to a flyer. And that's paying over $4 here in New Zealand, which is incredibly high for the opening try. So something like that I would quite like. But in terms of a result, I mean, the points difference is just half a point. I mean, that's how incredibly tight they've got it here. So really hard to pick, really hard to nail down, and especially the styles you're going to play too. For scoring tries, a lot here for 3-4 tries for players. And this is a test match, man. This is like a full-on test match. Points are going to be crucial. Grab them when you can and take it from there. So tries kind of scare me off a little bit as well.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm still battling to get involved in the outright front. I took a bit of 12 to 1 Australia a few weeks ago, as everyone knows. They're now 15 to 1. Great investment from me there. I should rather have held my money and backed them now. But let's move on to that first game, Stephen. I'm going to stick with you. I'm just going to bring some prices up here quickly for the guys who do have Betxchange accounts who are going to get. So Betxchange have got price boosts on the handicaps and the total points. So they in South African terms, this is up to a 5,000 maximum, which I can tell you is a bigger bet than most South Africans will place on a game of rugby. And we've got here, as you say, a choice game, half a point there in favour of the, well, French are favourites, half a point. And I know Hendrik's going to have a good comment on this. We've got the total points line there at 49.5. So, Steve, from your side, interested in your sort of feeling on what sort of game are we going to get you? Are we going to see points in this one?
Yeah, I think we are going to see points because I think both sides are going to want to go out and put something on here, put on a bit of a show, and this is probably their only real chance to really display that they are the competition front runners that they are talking up their game to be. The top two teams. This is one of your top, or two of your top four teams going at it here. Going out and thumping Italy, Uruguay, and Namibia is not really going to do you any sort of justice as far as claiming to be a front runner. So it's going to be now or never. Go out, show what you've got. And then it's pretty much wait till the quarterfinals where, the show really starts out from there. So I think we're going to see points. I think the first half might be a bit tentative. We might see a lot more shots at goal and that sort of likes a territorial game. But after that, when things start to really get into the second half especially, and depending how that first half goes as to if someone's chasing the game or if there is a big spread between points of the two sides and that halftime break could affect especially the All Blacks, the way that they play. We know if they do have their tail ups, if they are in a good spot of form and they are feeling it, they will go to corner and turn down points quite a lot. And I don't think the occasion will affect that if they have that feeling that they're on top of the game, they want to capitalise, and that will be where they'll look to jump on it.
All right, let's bring in the unders taker. He's called the unders taker because I would say 80% of the time he prefers the unders. So when he goes overs, you listen, well, what's he going to go for here? Henrik, I'm guessing 49.5. You're with me in thinking unders. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm with you, Brent. But I actually like the under 5.5 tries more here. France, they've got solid defense with Gareth Edwards. They're pretty good the defense, and when they get penalties, they take the 3 points. So Ramos, he kicks well. They always take the 3 points most of the time. Even just when the score is very big, they go for the line out, but mostly they kick it at posts. And with their defense, I just like that under 5.5 tries. But yeah, I won't put off under 49.5 either. I think under 49.5 is the way to go here. I'd be surprised if there's more than 50 points here in this game. Both teams probably going to be a bit nervous, so you can expect a few mistakes, and I think both teams will take the 3-pointers. So that's again coming back to that under 5.5. So that's what I like on the points and the tries. With regards to winning the game itself or the handicap, there's no handicap, like you said, it's a choice game. I don't think there's any value in this game left, Brent, and that probably goes for most of these games because the betting has been out for such a long time. There's not a lot of value left in the handicaps and stuff. So there might be a bit in the points, but I think France 1-12, you're getting about 15-10 thereabouts. I think that's a decent price to have an interest in the game. That won't be my main bet. Like I said, I like the unders on the tries. But yeah, this is not for me a game where I'm going to spend a lot of money. Just enjoy the game, enjoy the opening game, and have a bit on either. If you fancy New Zealand, take the 1-12. You're getting a big price, a decent price there as well. I can't see any of these two teams winning by double digits. So I think that 1-12 market is a good one on this one.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be many punters who will argue with you. And that's why I left Rian's comment out there. Because, Rian, interesting you say don't count out the draw. You can't really be a regular draw punter in rugby because, let's face it, it's not like soccer. It's very unusual for a draw to occur. But I'm with you here, Rian, and I'm with the guys on this one. I think it's going to be close. And I'm actually at Betxchange, have got 25-1 the draw. And I'm looking at tonight. I've had a big week in terms of just getting ready for this World Cup. I'm not even going out. I'm just going to sit on the couch, have a beer, relax and enjoy the game. And I want to have a few rand on the draw here at 25-1. I'll probably get involved. I'm definitely going to take some under 49.5 as well. But it's the draw here. So 25-1 you can get on the draw. I think that's a good one. Stefan saying he reckons New Zealand will edge it. And Darren, he's also coming in saying take some of the draw. So that's the first game. That's Friday night. It's going to be an absolute cracker. Let's go to the next one. I'll quickly bring up the betting here. And I'll just remember to take the comments down. We've got Italy against Namibia here. This is the 5K boost at Betxchange, minus 33.5, the Italians. This handicap, I can tell you, has shifted from about a month ago, minus 26.5. There's been constant money coming for the Italians, but I think it might have reached a point now where the handicap will start to stabilize. We've got total points at 57.5. And when I talk total points, then he goes straight to the Undertaker and get his views on this game.
Brent, this is a very well-coached Italy team. Kieran Crowley, he's got them playing very well. Everybody knows their job in the team. This is probably the best Italy has been. So yeah, the handicap is right there. Namibia, they've played like 4 games the last 4 years, of 8 games, something like that. I'm not sure, but they've played very little rugby. But I like the Namibian team. I think they've got points in them. I'm unsure about the handicap. I'd probably lean Italy because they will probably go for points difference here and hope they can spring a surprise on one of the other 2 big teams. But I think main focus here will be points. I think the over 57.5 is a good bet. Italy can score points these days. They play positive rugby. And I have a feeling this Namibia team, they've got points in them as well. They've got a very good kicker in Tian Swanepoel. They've got a few players that play in the MRL in America that's playing well, the one flanker. They've got good centers, got a good scrum off. And yeah, I think the current points line of 11.5 on Namibia, I think that's a very good bet. That's one of my best bets of the weekend at this stage.
Right, Reverend likes the Italian strong. Chris is saying he likes the overs here. And yeah, I put Henrik up first because I knew he had some strong fancies on this game. Steve, these side are obviously in your group, so you'll be watching with a fair degree of interest on this. But if you're looking at it from a betting angle, what are you thinking?
Yeah, well, I do agree with what you're saying there about the Italians. They'll be going out to put points on the board here because if they want to harbour any hopes of getting themselves into a quarterfinal, like you're saying, they're going to have to go in there, dump a load of points on the Uruguayans and the Namibians, and then try and do something spectacular to edge themselves through the next round against. Probably likely they'll target whoever loses this first match coming up in the morning. So that's really their target for them. Obviously, first things first is to get third. Make sure that they qualify for the next Rugby World Cup. That's their number one target for the Italians. And I think their team is strikingly much better than it's been in the past. They've got fantastic players, great talent in the back line. Like I say, they can score tries. They'll get a lot of points. I'm going well over on this, 33.5. I think they'll smoke that easily. I think this is going to be a good win for Italy. They'll throw the points out there. They'll try to get as many for their points differential as possible in these games against Namibia and Uruguay. So for me, that's going over that. The TAB here does have some cool little bets to actually go on these first few games. It does have something for Namibia to actually score points in the first 10 minutes. It's paying $4, which I thought, yeah, they have that capabilities to actually get something on the board just to get themselves into the game. But the Italians, I think, will run this one away quite convincingly. And there's a number that you can jump on here on the TAB in New Zealand. Italy to winning both halves by 11-20 and to lead by 16-25 at the half and 36-45 at the full, paying $6 and $7. So, I mean, a big win for the Italians is what I'll be jumping on, and any of those sort of numbers takes my liking.
Just quickly bring Henrik in there. Steve mentioned that Namibia to score points in the first 10 minutes. I imagine you like that because you mentioned in your post on Good for the Game that they've got a T&Cs there, and he's got a prodigious boot. So you could well see a situation, penalty just inside their own half, where he lines it up, Henrik, and takes the early three.
Yeah, Brent. You can kick it from his own half, like you said. And you probably, if you like that bet for him to get early points, maybe just wait and see who gets the kickoff. If Namibia kicks off and they can pin Italy in their half, Italy kick the ball out and Namibia get it back, maybe they can force a penalty. Early on, I'm sure they will kick at posts if they get a penalty. So yeah, just maybe see who gets the kickoff.
Right, I'm just putting my phone on silent because aside from all the jolly WhatsApp messages coming in, I'm getting phone calls as well, and my phone is a bit loud. It might just ring one more time. Right, let's go on to the next game then, Henrik, and I'm going to, let me actually start with Steve this time. We got Ireland against Romania. We got the 5K boost here. We got 64.5. Steve, I can tell you this handicap was 51.5 a month ago. But Romania, of course, have delivered some of the poorer performances in international rugby scene for some time. They took 50 points against Georgia, who was someone else gave them a good 50-pointer as well. You got a points line of 73.5. What are you thinking on this game?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a pretty one to watch for Romanian fans on this one. Ireland's come out with a fairly strong side. Not completely 100% full strength, I don't think, but certainly good enough to run in a number of points against these Romanians. So I could, expect points. I would go over on this one as well because I think they're going to run it up a big total. And just the Romanians have been average, very average in the build-up. Everyone's run all over the top of them. Teams not even qualifying for the World Cup have run all over them. So, yeah, this one, go big. Cash in where you can because the Irish, I think, are going to look deadly. And they're much the same like the Italians too. They'll want to cash in on points because they'll have weary eyes on the Scots. And this is a pool that could come down again, more likely than Pool A for sure, but to points differential. Scotland are fully capable of this springing a surprise. So cashing in again on these weaker sides is something that could come in, grab that bonus point, get yourself high up on the points differential, just to save yourself an embarrassment of going out on points difference later on in the tournament.
Well, there's plenty of live chat comments I've been bringing up here, and everybody seems to be in agreement of Ireland. But and seeing that betting is for 18 years and over, I'm going to bring up Monsieur Arteta's comment and say, time for the Romanians to apply the loop. I think that pretty much sums it up. Yeah, no doubt about that one. Henrik, I was telling you, when I looked at this game, I was a little bit stumped. I posted the preview on Good for the Game earlier, and I messaged my Irish mate because, I mean, you know one thing about the Irish are going to win this by 110, so I didn't want a handicap pick from him. But I said, what's the bet? And I said, who's going to score the first try? And he says, early penalty, into the corner, and the hooker scores the first try. His name actually just escaped me for a second, but I put it out there. That was at 13-2. What are your views on this?
Yeah, no, I agree, Brent. That is a solid bet. It's a good price as well for the first try scorer. I don't like big handicaps, Brent. But you can't make a case for Romania here. You probably have to go overs or minus or overs on Ireland. And like Steve said, Ireland they have to have the points difference in mind. So Yeah, probably overs. I can't see Romania really scoring points here, except for maybe a lucky intercept or something like that. So yeah, probably Ireland all the way, but not one of the games I'm going to get too involved in. I see there's lots of guys liking this one and labeling it as a very good bet. I'd be happy if it arrives, but not one of my stronger ones here.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's gone off the chat now in front of me as the messages come in. But someone saying, the weather is hot. There's always the chance maybe Ireland step off the gas. But Romania just seemed to be so bad that you'd have to think whoever comes on can get the job done as well. Right, just before we move on to the next game, just a reminder about our Super Brew pools. We've got 2 Super Brew pools, the free one, and then we got this one, a 500 Rand buy-in. Now, the target was to get 100 people to buy in, so we had a 50K pot. I can tell you that target was hit this morning at somewhere around 7 or 8 o'clock, if I remember correctly. So we've got 100 people who've sent me POPs. I can tell you my bank account's been going crazy with SMSs coming through for payment notifications. While I was preparing for the show, I kid you not, 10 POPs came through on the email. I haven't even had a chance to go in and look at them. I will update it later. But guys, if you're not involved in the Super Brew pool, then do go. There's a link down below in the description box. You can enter there and pay me the POP. Well, send me the payment proof, because by 9 o'clock tonight, if you haven't done that, then we'll have to remove you from the pool, because we can't have people getting in, who maybe back France against New Zealand and they win. We've got to make it with this sort of money pretty fair. So there's going to be some huge pots to play for. They're really looking forward to that one. Right, let's and Henrik, I know you're part of that one. But let's have a look, Henrik, at the next one. Australia against Georgia. Australia, we saw 15-1 in the outrights. We've got a minus 21.5. And sorry, the points there's, I think, at 52 or 53.5. I'll have a quick look at that one now. I've got us covering it there. What are your thoughts?
I think overs on the points is the way to go in this one, Brent. Handicap, again, I'm a bit unsure. I think Georgia can score points, and Australia normally do ship points as well. So that's why I think that over 52.5 looks, in my opinion, game like this, it looks about 7 points too low. I'd have it closer to 60. So I like the overs. And if pushed, I'll probably go just two weeks or so ago, I said Georgia on the plus in this game. But I just see some parts in the Australia game coming together. So, yeah, I'm not sure about the handicap anymore. I'm probably leaning more to the minus at this stage. But, yeah, I can't look past the over 52.5 on that one. Maybe Australia points as well. I think that's about 36.5 thereabouts. So, yeah, over 36.5 when I looked, yeah. Most of the games, it looks like the conditions are going to be very good. Low humidity and very hot. So, yeah, and no wind. So, yeah, conditions look very good for running rugby.
Steve, what's your thoughts on this one? What are the neighbours going to do?
I don't see your faith in the Wallabies. I tell you what, I just don't see it. They're a team in a spoiled amount of trouble. They've got a pool that is going to make them look a lot better than they actually are. But I don't like the Georgians to win this one. I don't think they're going to get over the line. But I just find almost 22.5 points, 23 points is a lot for the Wallabies. That's over 3 tries they have to beat the Georgians by. And I agree with your sentiments about the fact that their defense is leaky. They do always give up a lot of points. I think the Georgians are going to definitely match them up in the forwards. But what I really am concerned about with the Wallabies is the latter part of that game when their starting lineup features Angus Bell and Taliana Tupou in the props. But we know they've got massive injuries there, and they are playing the big bruiser bullies of the Georgians, who are going to gobble up those replacements later on when they come off the bench. So I just think the Wallabies are going to get into this one a bit slow. They're going to work their way to halftime, probably with a slender lead, I think, and drop off as it gets quite late, but do enough through that middle period of the 40 to 60 minute to get themselves home. I think the Georgians will be licking their lips a bit because they're a team that's got a lot to gain and very little to lose in this one. So I kind of like the options that we have here for the Georgians with a 22-point start. They've got here for Georgia to get for $4. So, I mean, I kind of like that because I don't think the Wallabies are going to dominate this fixture. They're going to look for guys in their backs to get them out of jails. I'm always looking at Nwangani Tawazi. I think he's a guy who's really going to bail them out throughout this World Cup. But I just see that the Georgians are going to man up in defence through the pack. They're going to man up through the midfield. I think they have the capabilities there. And it's just going to be that little X factor of a couple of guys. They've not picked Callaway, which kind of concerns me as well, going with Ben Donaldson, who's not been anywhere near the squad. Just a few selection things in this Wallabies team that gives me a little bit of concern. It makes me say, yeah, if you give a few points to these Georgians, I wouldn't mind them getting pretty close in this one, maybe within, a 10, 15 sort of point range.
Right, so quite strong on the Georgians on the handicap there. It's interesting the way you described the game. I kind of picture that as well. I sort of see Australia pulling away potentially in the second half. But the thing about a team like Georgia is when they get that sniff, maybe early in the second half or something, if they're within 8 points or something, it's going to be a real battle on the hands for Australia. But personally, I'd probably be looking at, I'm not going to oppose Australia in this game. Let's put it that way. Right, let's move on to the next game. And we've got England up against Argentina. So here we got total points, Steve, at 45.5. And I can tell you the betting on this game. I mean, Argentina are actually favourites on a few bookmakers' boards now when I had a look just before the game. And now, let's call this one a choice game now. There was definitely sort of, I think, 8 or 9.5, plus 8 or 9.5 Argentina early doors. So that's come right in, and we're looking very much at a choice game. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I think this one's going to be a bit of a ground down game. I'll be going under on this one, mainly because I like Argentina. I really like Argentina, the way they play their style of game. But I fear that their inability to play that full complement of 80 minutes is going to allow the English to drag this game down into the way they want to play it. And I think this is be a game where Argentina may want to play expansive. They won't be allowed to so much, and they have to look back towards just accumulating points. They are going to fall asleep. They have every single game this year in a period. But I just don't see this English side as a team that's really going to pile on points on you either. With the way they've built up to this match, their preparation, I mean, no one needs to really talk about that. We know exactly what's happened. They don't look fantastic. And I think the Argentinians just need a good period, a 20, 30-minute period to get themselves up front. But I don't think it's going to be a huge score. I think it will be a bit of a ground, and I think you're going to see guys, like your Lavanenis and your Materas and those sort of chaps just really get dirty with this and bring the English to their own sort of game, which will be entertaining to watch, but not if you enjoy that running rugby. But I do enjoy the Argentinians. I hope they get out, but I'll be definitely going unders on it.
Right, well, Rion reckons race over Argentina won't lose, and Reverend says likes Argentina on the over 20.5. Should get plenty of looks at posts and a couple of tries. Henrik, interested in your views in this game because the momentum, I mean, virtually every punter you're talking to is opposing England. And even me as someone I was on England, I backed them before the semi-finals in the 2019 World Cup. So they beat New Zealand, but they let me down after that. I mean, I'm not a person who dislikes England, but just based on what I've seen of them, I have to say I'm in the Argentina camp here as well. What are you doing?
Yeah, Brent, I was also on England 2019, but basically going against the Box in the final. I agree with Steve that I don't see a lot of points in this one because England, they are not firing at the moment. I see Reverend's comment about Argentina over 20.5. That might be the bet on the points because even though I don't see a lot of points in this game, 45.5 is just a bit low for me. I would have liked a bit closer to 50. But yeah, for me, the bet here is just Argentina to win the game. Argentina are very well coached by Michael Cheika, and England, their confidence must be so low at the moment. They've got a lot of well-known players in the team, but Steve Borthwick hasn't shown anything while he has been coaching them. They've actually looked much better the last while where Eddie Jones was there. So yeah, for me, obviously this game, when it came out about 2-3 months ago on the betting, it was plus 9.5, plus 8.5 Argentina available. So the value probably gone, but I still think 9 choice game, 9 to 10, even money thereabouts, Argentina to win the game. I think that's the bet. You probably can make a case for the 1 to 12 again here on Argentina, but I just have a feeling Argentina might win by more than that. So yeah, for me, keep it simple, just back Argentina to win this game.
I just want to bring one comment up here from Shane. He says, when can we get the King back on a live show? Well, Shane, let me give you good news, mate. 7 o'clock tonight, South African time. The Oracle's back. We're going to be talking about the betting just ahead of the game. So we've got about 2 hours before kickoff, so all the lines would have settled by that stage. But the Oracle's back. And let me tell you, the Oracle's been quiet, but I've had some conversations with him in recent weeks, and I'm not sure if this is a good or a bad thing, but the full confidence is definitely back with the Oracle. So don't miss that show at 7 o'clock tonight, South African time. Right, let's get into the next game, and we'll start with you, Henrik. Bring it up now. Japan against Chile. This, I must be honest, I haven't written a preview for this yet, and it's the only one that I haven't really looked at. I do know that it was Pia Killian that at one point at Pia Bowl he went for Chile on the handicap at about plus 25.5 quite a while ago. It came in a bit, seems to have gone back out. Pretty stable. We got total points at 53.5. Mr. Undertaker, what's up with this one?
Yeah, Brent, Japan not playing very very well at the moment. Not sure what's going on there. They are not close to where they were 4 years ago. And Chile, I think Chile might be a bit of a surprise package this year. I watched a few YouTube videos on them, and they are playing really good rugby. So I like the plus here. I think they can push Japan a bit here, and I like Chile over 13.5 points here. I like that a lot. And with all Japan games, you can normally go over on the total points as well. So that total points looks good as well. But I really like that over 13.5 Chile points in this game.
Interesting, Steve. So we got quite a firm view on that from Henrik. And I know, Henrik, these are the sort of games he likes to get involved in. You know, everybody knows the form of France and New Zealand, but some of the bookmakers may not know much about Chile. So if you do a bit of research in the background, you can find some value. What are your thoughts on this one? And as a matter of interest, have you looked what time would this game be for you? Is it the sort of one you'll be getting up early in the morning for, or perhaps hitting the record button?
I will be trying to get as many as possible that I can get to, but that is often easier said than done. Let me just have a quick look if I can see exactly when this game is. But yeah, I do agree with the Japan comments. I think they've been extremely poor. It's an 11 p.m. start, this one, so that's not too bad. We can probably get behind that one. But yeah, this is a Japanese side that struggled, suffered a few injuries pre-World Cup. That's kind of set back the production they did gather up heading into the Rugby World Cup. But it's hard because they're kind of like that team that really do like to get up for the Rugby World Cup, and their build-up has not put them in good stead for this, but I still am hesitant to how they're going to perform in this one. Chile have got potential. That I find this margin to be a little bit of, it could get blown out, or Chile could really step this up and actually give them a bit of a scare, because I am concerned about how the Japanese are going to respond to a good Chilean start, which is what's going to put them up for me. So I would kind of look saying, I've seen the total tries are 7.5. That's something I'd probably like to go under for mine that we've got here. So something like that. But as a result, you go Japan. I think they'll win this one. But I think Chile, yeah, like we're saying, I think Chile could give them a bit of a fright, give them a bit of hurry up. They do play a style of rugby that Japan will probably agree with and go, yeah, okay, let's play like this, but not be expecting them to actually put some points away like they have the capabilities to do. So a bit hesitant. I'm curious to see how Chile are going to play on the big stage, because this is a big moment for them.
Right, and just a reminder to guys to use hashtag Rugby World Cup to get yourself into the lucky draw there. Chris is saying, thank goodness for the time zone. He was getting up at ungodly hours for some World Cups. And I must say, yes, Chris, I think that's why perhaps, Steve and I were chatting before the show with Henrik, perhaps the enthusiasm for this World Cup's a little bit bigger in South Africa than it is in New Zealand, mainly because of the hours of the games. We're going to be able to watch all of the games, and absolutely looking forward to that. Right, let's bring up, I think I've still probably got the Chile slide up, but we'll get the next one going. South Africa against Scotland. I've got the total points line at 47.5. Sorry, that's covered in the bottom. But we got a handicap here of 10.5. And Steve, I can tell you this game, South Africa against Scotland, 12.5 was generally the line over the last few weeks. There seems to have been some support for the Scots, but not that far. We're talking 10.5, 11.5, somewhere around there. This is going to be a cracking game, because as much as you said, New Zealand and France, they play the game. Let's see who's the big boy in the group, and then they both go through the quarters. That's not the case in this game. The loser of this game faces an absolute uphill task to make it to the playoffs. So they really, South Africa and Scotland will be going all out for the win here. What do you think of it?
Yeah, well, we're still at 12.5 here, so we've not quite progressed like the rest of the world has. But this is a massive game. I was looking at this game earlier, and to me, Scotland, I know Scotland are going to go all out for this game. They're going to run a mile on it. They're going to throw everything they've got at it. And I am weary of the Scots. I'm curious as your guys' thoughts on this, because as South Africans, what your confidence level is against the Scottish team, but they look dangerously good. Really pushed France, beat them if they're not a team, but then really pushed their better team really, really close in the build-up. They look exciting. They look like they've got their continuity sorted out. They look really, really good, and they do scare me. If I was South African, I would be certainly worried about it. The thing with Scotland for this game, that with them going all out here, I kind of feel like they should probably target Ireland a bit more. If they're going to win a game, I feel like that's the one that they should or could potentially win, knowing how they play, knowing the style, playing against them more regularly, all that sort of stuff. Whereas South Africa's a bit of a wild beast, and we all know even the All Blacks, who play them every year, the Wallabies play them every year, the Pumas still struggle to really comprehend the style and the physicality and a game plan to beat the Springboks. So Scotland aren't going to lay on this one, though. They're going to go all out for it. I'm going very close for this one. So 12.5 for me is too much. I think it's going to be close. It's going to be tight. We've got South Africa 12 and under at 270 here, or an even tastier one. Either team to win by under 7.5 for 310. Maybe a bit slender for me. I kind of think it'll be more in the around 10 points, maybe 8 to 13, 15 sort of level. But it's not bad, sort of odd, if it does get quite close and tense for this one. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting fixture, such a good fixture. And it's great to see Scotland actually battling at the World Cup and getting to these sort of matches and being like, yeah, we can compete now.
It's true. And I mean, I was saying to someone the other day, I think even on one of the shows, if Scotland were in Group C or D, they'd probably be priced at 8-9 to 1 to win the tournament. The fact is you can get huge prices on Scotland because they are in this group. So we're going to bring Henrik in there now. I just was laughing because I was, when you mentioned that they would be targeting Ireland over South Africa, and we've got a lot of Irish guys who watch the show, and I was waiting to see if there were a few comments saying, what the hell are you talking about? But Henrik, what a cracking match this is going to be. Obviously, as a South African, thinking box here, but as a betting man, we've got a handicap of, let's say, anywhere from 10.5 to 12.5. What are your views on this? Or where's the money going?
Brent, Scotland, they're playing very well at the moment, but the way the Boks are playing and the way they just bully teams up front, I can't make a case for Scotland here. I think the minus is the way to go here. The Boks normally defensively they are very good as well. I see us rolling balls, dominating Scotland, and if we get the penalties close to the line, we'll go for a maul. Minus for me here, Brent. I can't make a case for Scotland on this one. It's a big game for the Boks, so I think they will be obviously for Scotland as well. But I just expect the Boks to be really switched on for this one, and I think Rassie and Jock has planned for this one for a long time, with this game especially. And I agree with Steve. I think Scotland's better game to try and get out of the pool is against Ireland. Like you said, they know the Irish. They play them way more. I'm unsure about the points. I would like to go unders on Scotland points, but it's about 16.5, and I'm unsure there. So for me, Boks on the minus just here.
Right, 100%. Yeah, I must say, absolutely looking forward to this game. I haven't done the preview yet on Good for the Game. I will also be doing an individual video preview on this. When I say individual, I might have someone join me on the preview. Did one at about 2 o'clock in the morning last night on the New Zealand game. So that is in the Good for the Game channel if you want to check that out. Right, let's move on, though. And the next game we've got is going to be, I've still got that up there. It's going to be Wales up against Fiji, Henrik. Now, this handicap has also come in quite a bit over the last few weeks. It's Fiji certainly put in some good results. They beat England, and Wales have certainly looked a bit shaky. We've got a 4.5 line here, Wales favourite, and a points line of 46.5. And I know Oracle's not a big team news fan, but very upset to see the Fijian fly half a late withdrawal, unfortunately, from the squad due to injury, because what I saw of him, he was absolutely what Fiji needed to sort of gel the forwards and the backs together. Henrik, what are your views on this one?
Yeah, Brent. They sit with Tetitela at 10 again, and he hasn't got them going. I liked Fiji on this one. I liked them to win the game, but now with Caleb Muntz being out, that really puts me like I'm not sure where to go here. So I'm almost like where I want to switch to Wales. But I think again this might be one we have to go for points. I think Fiji, obviously they have tries in them. They play amazing rugby when they get going. So unsure on the handicap for me, Brent. If pushed, I'll probably go for the minus. It's not going to be a popular pick, but I think Wales on the minus. But yeah, rather on the points here for me, I think Fiji points. And even if they lose, I still think they can score more than 20 points here. So Fiji over 19.5 thereabouts.
Right, I'm going to go up to Steve now. Darren just saying without Munce, he thinks Fiji's chances of an upset disappear. And obviously a massive loss to Fiji because Stefan Jabeur as well says Wales to cover. Steve, what are your thoughts on this game?
I like my Fiji. I really like my Fiji. I'm surprised they've not really rushed in Ben Volleyballer into this because he was unlucky to miss the team selection in the first place. I'm surprised he wasn't tasting wine and cheese in France already, just enjoying the atmosphere and being ready for the potential of this happening. But yeah, it's a big blow. You'd take Fiji in a heartbeat, wouldn't you? With Munce was playing, you'd say they'll blow it away. But this really does tighten this up. But I'm going to stay faithful to the Pacific cousins down here. I think the Fijians are going to get the job done. It's a very small margin, just 4.5 that they've got here. So I still like Fiji to do that. I kind of like tries on this one. I think Fiji, especially probably now even more so, aren't going to look for that consolatory 3 points anymore. They'll probably look to score, look to have some fun, and just put themselves to the test here. The pressure is on Fiji, though. We always talk about Fiji having a team of nothing to lose, everything to gain from this. But their build-up to this World Cup has people, media, everyone going, Fiji, you've done the goods now. It's actually time to perform. This is a game you likely should be winning. You should be actually in this mix. So a little bit of pressure on them as well, a little bit of late change, and a little bit of expectation to get a job done is going to be very, very tough for them. But I'm going back to Fijians. It's a World Cup. Things happen, and we're going to be celebrating this for the Fijians for a long time to come.
Interesting you say that, Steve. We got a Curry Cup team here called the Pumas. And the Pumas are one of those sides, you back them on the plus handicap. They always, when they were the underdog, they always did the business. But the moment they were made favourites, and I'm not suggesting Fiji are favourites for this, but as you say, more is expected of them. All of a sudden, it's a different type of pressure on the side. So it's interesting that you say that as well. Got to welcome Kian Hoban. He's doing a bit of writing for Good for the Game at the moment. Goes under the nickname The Don. He writes a bit of a few previews there. So he's coming in looking to win himself a voucher. Kian, just confirm you're of age there, mate. I just want to make sure you're not under 18 before we give that voucher away. But obviously some Irish heritage. It was his dad who gave me the bet in the Irish game. Right, guys, we're going to do the lucky draws now. Then we're going to come on to the bets. Let me just bring this up one more time. Just if you do enjoy the shows, and there are going to be plenty of shows of this Rugby World Cup, hit the subscribe button and give us a like as well. Also, a big thank you to Betxchange for coming on board. We're going to do the 2 draws. I just need to set it up very quickly in terms of removing that, and then and I'll be sharing the first draw. Now, the first one, you're going to have to take my word. I've never done a Twitter draw before, so we asked people to retweet a Twitter post, and it was just one of those things. The thing wasn't working properly. Eventually, I did get the draw to work, but I thought I'm not going to try that out on a live show. So I'm going to share the screen now, and I'll show you who the winner is there. In fact, even that might be a problem. Now, let's have a look. Anyway, I'm going to tell you guys the winner of the Twitters. It was Darren Holiday. Darren, you won the reposting one. So you win your entry into the Super Brew pool. I know that you're already in the pool, and I had your 500 Rand. So, I'm going to make contact with me. Send me your bank details, and you'll be the first guy who gets payment out of me because no one else is. With all the money I've got from the Super Brew pool, I'm heading out of the country. I'm taking the money, and I'm going to run. But now we can do a proper draw for the we'll do a proper draw now for anyone who's used hashtag RWC Rugby World Cup in the comments column. And I suggest if you haven't done it yet, you've probably got a few split seconds to get that as I share the screen. And we'll bring that up now, and that will get a bit more of a spectacular. We're up to 19 entries at the moment. Let me pop back here and bring it up onto the screen, see if we can get any last-minute guys coming in. We're going to do this draw. This draw, of course, is for the 500 Rand Betxchange voucher. And you can contact me at brent@goodforthegame.co.za to claim your prize. Let's have a look. Obviously, if I win this prize, we will redraw. And here it goes. Slowing down. Richard Moore, well done, Richard. Just send me an email, brent@goodforthegame.co.za. You win the Betxchange 500 voucher there. Hopefully, the last couple of guys who scrambled and managed to get into the draw there as well. We'll remove that now, gents. We're going to talk best bets. We've covered 8 matches. We got through a lot of ground on the show. Make no mistake about that. Steve, I'm going to say to you first, what's the game you're most looking forward to on the weekend? I'm going to ask you besides New Zealand, France, because I'm sure that is the game you look most looking forward to. And then what is your best play for the weekend of what we discussed today?
Well, there's a lot of good, interesting rugby, isn't it? But for me, what I'm looking forward to is I like watching these minnow teams play, especially in the pool stages. I like watching the small teams that we never get to see. We always see the top nations, especially in these top nations that we actually live in. But I like seeing the smaller teams. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing Namibia play. Namibia and Italy, sure, it won't be a classic, cracking, close, tight game, but it's going to be 2 nations that we see very little on in this side of the world. Namibia, especially the Italians, if you want to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning to watch the 6 nations and the likes of that, you get to see them. But I like enjoying and seeing rugby, and I think this Italian side is actually quite exciting. I think they've got a good ability and a good chance to actually really enjoy the crowd a bit here. So that would be my pick of something I'm going to watch for my own guilty pleasure in the early hours of the morning, whichever that one is. But I like, and I was looking through this as we're doing them, but I like the Georgians. My best bet would be the Georgians at plus 22.5 over the Wallabies. I just really like the Georgians, and I think the Wallabies are just, especially first game up, a lot of new faces, not inexperience, problems with their pack, which I think are going to rear their head, especially if they get injuries, problems, substitutions. It's going to be a bit of a disaster for them. I think they'll still get over the line, but I think the Georgians going to give them a bit of a hurry up, which most people won't be looking at Georgia, especially this part of the world. Again, it's like Namibia, Italy. No one sees Georgia. No one sees what they're capable of. New Zealand's very blinders when it comes to overseas rugby, especially. We see South Africa, Australia, Argentina, and that's it. So, yeah, it'll be good to see. I think Georgia's going to, put a bit of a fright up their Wallabies.
Excellent. Wow. Really getting excited for these now. I'm going to go down to Henrik. Henrik, what are your best bets for the weekend?
Now, Brent, like Steve, I also like the minnow games in the World Cup, and the game I'm actually looking forward to the most is that Japan-Chile game. I can't wait for that game on Sunday. Nice afternoon game for us here in South Africa. My best bet, I'm going to go, like I said, I like the overs on Namibia and Chile, but I'm going to go for overs because I expect a good game from Italy as well. Total points overs in that game, it's about 56, 57 and a half thereabouts. So I think there can be 60 plus points in that Italy-Namibia game, and I expect Namibia to contribute as well. So I like the Namibia overs, and I like Chile overs against Japan as well, over 13 and a half. But yeah, best bet over 56 or over 57 total points in Italy versus Namibia.
Right, my turn. But to get my best bet, and I've got it scrolling down the bottom of the screen, you're going to have to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It's not really because I want you to sign up as much as I don't know what my best bet is yet, but I will be sending that out a little bit later. There's a link down below. Join us in the never-ending battle against the bookmakers. Talking of bookmakers, thank you to Betxchange for the sponsorship and some great price boosts. I think South Africa's going to be, if you don't have a Betxchange account, you'll be opening. And I know quite a few guys who maybe haven't punted for a while at Betx. There's a lot of variety in the markets. They're going to be returning there to have a few good bets on that one. Let me start at the top of the screen with Steve. Steve, thanks a million, mate. Your YouTube channel, of course, Cornflake. A quick word. What was your last video? Because I've been so busy today, but I did see you posted something quite recently.
Yeah, we did a show with Paul from New Zealand Sport Radio. A bit like if anyone is an American TV viewer, there's a show called Pardon the Interruption. 2 guys, quick fire, hard-hitting, time-limited topics to fire away at. So we recorded that this morning. World Cup sort of edition. We're looking at this, a raft of different topics, straight to the point, straight in your face, and straight to what we think about it. So it's fun to record, and yeah, it's good to be able to just go out there and go bang. So yeah, I hope people enjoy it. It's something a little bit different, and I thought it was quite cool. Check it out.
Right, straight into the point. So for those tuning in at 7 o'clock for the Oracle tonight, that's probably not going to be quite as short and fiery. Henrik Swart, the Undertaker. Henrik, enjoy the games, mate. Great having you back on the show.
Thanks, Brent. Yeah, to everybody out there, enjoy the games, enjoy the punting. Yeah, it's going to be great. Enjoy the World Cup, 6 weeks or thereabouts, probably a bit more. It's going to be amazing. Yeah, I can't wait for it to start this evening.
Excellent. Yeah, it's like, I'm just one of those people. That's all I'm thinking about now is the Rugby World Cup. I mean, I haven't really, even the Vuelta, which is a big stage. I love my cycling. I barely looked at it this week. And yeah, driving my wife, I think, absolutely crazy. But can't wait for it. Guys, if you're not in the Super Group pool yet, get involved. This is going to be an absolute monster of a pool. Thanks to all the guys who contributed in the live chat. It's always good having your contributions. We will be back next Friday for the Handicap Rugby Chat That Matters. But make sure you subscribe because, my goodness, there are going to be plenty of other videos along the way.